Miss Kaleigh Darty, local attorney.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to start by saying how honored I am to be here, how honored I am to be home. I love Statesville, I love my country, but because I love both of those, I reserve the right to criticize it, and I reserve the right to demand that each of them do better. George Floyd and the countless other unarmed black men and women who have died are a result of two things. That first thing is racism, which is a condition of the heart. And the second is injustice, which is a result of an imbalance in power which has gone on for far too long. Far too long. Y'all have to bear with me because I'm not always the best at being politically correct.
Don't do it.
Some of the things I'm going to say might make you angry.
Be yourself.
Make you uncomfortable.
Be yourself.
But I've made peace with that because I didn't come home to make friends. I didn't
Authenticity.
come home to be liked.
Yeah.
I came home to do a job. And that job is to make a difference. I hope you will all join me in making that difference because the work needs to be done. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you how far America has come. I'm going to stand up here and tell you how far we still have to go. Because I don't want to stand out in that crowd watching my children give this same speech 20 years from now. So, with that being said, bear with me. I grew up in that jail, the old one, and in that courthouse. Many nights when my brother was off at basketball practice and my mom was off in the community doing one of the 100 things she's always engaged in, I was with my dad. I sat on the front row of those pews and I watched him in there, and I sat on the floor of that jail and I colored while he interviewed clients. And I say that to say that it feels like home to me in a way. I feel like I belong there. But I have to remind myself every single day when I go to work that I belong there. Because every single day when I walk in that door, there is not one single assistant district attorney that looks like me. There is not one single judge that looks like me. There is not one single bailiff that looks like me. The only other people that really look like me are the attorneys that share my last name, or the defendants that are waiting in the courtroom to have their case called. And the first couple weeks I got back, I was really emotional because every day I walked into work and I saw my friends from high school. Every single day it felt more like a class reunion. I saw my classmates more in my first week of work than I did in my entire 7 years since graduation. So with that being said, everybody who's in there is waiting for their case to be called. Everybody who looks like me is waiting for their case to be called. And the hard part about that is I see classmates that I know were smarter than me, that were more talented than me, that were more creative than me, that were more gifted than me. I'm telling you, the people that were sitting in that pew waiting for their case to be called were just as good, if not better, than me. And they should be where I am instead of where they are. And I was having a conversation with an attorney one time about how difficult that is. And he said, well, look, you made good choices. That's why you are where you are. And to that I say, I didn't just make good choices, I had good choices to choose from. They are not the same. They are not the same. They are not the same. You cannot make good choices and you don't have good choices to choose from. And this community has failed our minority communities because you are not giving them a seat at the table. You are not giving them good choices to choose from. You can't make good choices if you don't have good choices to choose from. I didn't go home and have to worry about if my lights were gonna cut off. I didn't have to go home and worry about if I had food on the table. I could just go home and focus on my homework. And when it got time to apply for scholarships and it got time to think about college, I didn't have to worry about staying home and providing for my family. I didn't have to worry if I didn't get a scholarship, I wasn't going to college. I was going to college. It wasn't an option in my house. Everybody doesn't have that same privilege. So with that being said, we've got to start by giving our young people an option to actually go to college and have success. You can't have a community that spends $26 million on a jail. They are not equally funding our minority communities. And I'll tell you what it says about Statesville. I'll tell you that it says that this county is more concerned with sending people to jail than they are with sending them to college. If you want to reduce crime, read the statistics. If you want to reduce crime, read the statistics. You can't just put people in cages. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It does not work. If you take the time to read the statistics and you read the research and the studies, they'll show you that the best way to reduce crime is through education.
That's right.
You have to have opportunities, you have to have options, you have to have education. So as a community, we can't just pour into our criminal justice system. We got to pour into our school systems. Okay, we got to pour into our school systems. I think that the newest form of racism is trying to pretend like it doesn't exist. So to our allies in the crowd with us, we're grateful that you're here, but don't ask us to prove it. Trust us. Our experience is our expertise. Okay? Okay? Our experience is our expertise. We know it. We feel it. Trust us when we say that it is alive, it is well, and it is prospering. Amen. So, I thought it was kind of ironic because the criminal justice system, if you've ever been a part of it, you'll know that it screams of accountability, responsibility, and punishment. Amen. It's, I can promise you, not concerned with rehabilitation. It's just concerned with punishment, responsibility, and accountability. And the ironic part of that is that that system has not taken responsibility. It has not taken accountability for the hundreds of thousands of black families it has destroyed over the past 400 years. The past 400 years. 400 years. They have to take accountability and responsibility and know that when you destroy communities, you destroy the future. When I talk to people about what they want from Statesville, I hear opportunity. They want our youth centers on the south side to be better funded. There's not even a grocery store on the south side. If they want to get food, how are they supposed to get it if they don't have a car? We don't have public transportation. We've got to do better. We've got to do better. We've got to do better.
Tell it.
We've got to do better. So, if you guys want America to be great, you got to confront the sins of our past, and we got to confront the sins that are here with us today. I'll tell you this last thing. It speaks volumes that in the midst of a global pandemic, we are gathered here today because we know that the 400 years of bigotry, racism, systematic oppression has killed more people than COVID-19 could ever take. look like me and look like people I love murdered on video. It is a public lynching. It is a public lynching, and it is heartbreaking to watch. It is hard to go through life each day, and every day there's a new video on social media. And I grieve for the hundreds and thousands of lives that have been lost that will never receive justice because it wasn't on video. Amen. So I'll end this by saying that my generation, we aren't just tired, we're fed up. Amen. We're fed up. We are tired of accepting the things we can't change. We're ready to change the things we can no longer accept. And I hope that you will join us in that fight. I hope you will join us in that fight. And I hope you will stand with all the victims of systematic oppression and racism. And I hope you will say that I love you, I see you, I'm praying for you, but most importantly, I'm fighting for you. That's right. Thank you.
You see what happens when you give access to everybody?